right, well, so far Homer's behaving himself. He hasn't bought anything, he hasn't gone crazy yet, but I think by later in the show it'll be bad. But we're back, and I'm here with Thomas Wilson, who's creative director at Beanox, and they are currently working on Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, which is actually really big at the show because you guys have finally revealed your last world. So what is it?
Well, it's Ultimate Spider-Man, so
Nice.
we can finally talk about it, but there's a twist. He's wearing the black suit.
Nice. Now, before we dive into that, we want to show you something that people just haven't seen, which is Noir. So we want to show you the Spider-Man Noir level here, which, talk us through it, Thomas, because every Spider-Man plays different, right?
Yes, so basically, because we call it Shattered Dimensions for a reason, you're actually playing 4 different Spider-Men, and the one you're looking at right now is the brand new Spider-Man Noir. It's a brand new series for Marvel, and it was really fun for us to actually bring that to life. And to make it a playable version of that was really cool. So it's all about stealth. In this universe, it's taking place in the 1930s, as if Peter Parker had gotten his powers around that time. And we're not actually telling the story from the comic book perspective. We're making our own in that time period, and it's all about retrieving the fragments of the tablet that get shattered at the beginning of the game. And so here you're looking at an area that's taking place in the level when you're after Hammerhead. And basically, at one point in this area, Hammerhead takes people hostage, and it's up to you. Basically, you're a superhero, so you gotta save people. So here, you basically have to take the guards one by one to free the hostages that are taken, sort of held captive inside the wagons. It's important to mention that all levels take place at night. And really, to know when you're in the shadows, to know if you're in stealth mode, you basically just have to be in the shadows. It's all about being in the shadows. When you're in the shadows, you're not being spotted. If you're in the light, you might be seen. These guys carry torchlight, so you have to watch it. Sorry, go ahead.
And just to be clear, just the Spider-Man Noir level takes place at night, right?
Well, we have some other levels in some other dimensions that might be taking place at night, but in Spider-Man Noir, they're all taking place at night. It's part of the art style. As you might have seen on the screen, we have this sort of film noir treatment. We really wanted to have this sort of Frank Miller quality to the render of the characters. So it's not just black and white. It's really all about, you have this rim-like treatment on the characters when in the shadow, as if they were drawn from a comic book. That was really important to us.
We saw just for a second kind of the spider vision,
yes,
or spider sense, I guess is how you guys do it.
So
how does this work?
So in Noir, it serves almost like it's a vision mode. It serves almost like night vision goggles, if you will. It allows you to better see in the dark, but it also allows you to see enemies and interactive objectives through walls. So everything that's dangerous will have a red aura, and everything that's interactive will have a yellow aura. So you can see where the civilians are hidden, as well as the enemy. So it's perfect when you're trying to, sneak behind a guy that's on the other side of a wall. You want to see when he's going to have his back turned on you.
Nice. Now, just to kind of fill people in what else we're seeing. So if whoever's playing right now had wanted to, they could upgrade Spider-Man because of some stuff they've collected. Do you want to explain? Because we've been seeing like these yellow orbs and this red stuff come off of people when they're defeated. So like right here.
Yes. So basically the way it works is you collect spider essence. That's sort of our currency in the game. You can see on the upper right hand on the screen that actually there's some challenges completed and you can upgrade your character. Basically what it is that the more you play the game, you unlock challenges within the game. You have 180 total, 15 per levels. And it serves sort of our inner achievement system. So basically, the more you complete challenges, the more spider essence you're being rewarded with, and the more moves and upgrades you can unlock. So, like health increase, more powers for your combos, more combos, and so on, alternate suits. So there's a lot.
And I should probably call out, while your demo was playing, he maybe didn't play as good as he could have, and he did step in the light.
Yeah.
And it wasn't game over, right?
No.
So you can pull a save if you have a problem. So you want to talk to us about how that works?
Yeah, sure. Basically, the way it works is we desaturate the color palette when in shadows and when you're hidden. But if you happen to be spotted, basically you're going to have a red glow following you around. So if you hide in the shadows and look back at your position, you're going to see that marker that will identify basically your last seen position. This is where all the enemies will converge, and you'll know that you're not going to be spotted if you stay in the shadows long enough. Also, if you get shot, your health regenerates when you're shadows. So we're not punishing the player too much. You just got to watch it. You just got to watch how you approach the level navigation, basically.
All right.
So I guess we could, you know, to that point, I think we could switch probably to the final dimension that we have revealed.
Right. So what we're going to be doing right now is we're going to be switching to Ultimate. Now, there was an Ultimate Spider-Man game that came out.
Yes.
So is that one of the reasons why you guys chose to go all with the black suit?
Well, sort of. I mean, really, people really liked the first game that came out, Ultimate Spider-Man. After all, it's one of the biggest Spider-Man after Amazing Spider-Man. And we thought it was just making sense to actually have it in the game, and for him to be wearing the black suit really distinguish this character, you know, with the other ones.
And I have to nerd out here for a second for the folks at home. So this is taking place in Triskelion base.
Yes. So what we're looking at right now is this Triskelion base, shield base of operation. So what's great about it is that in this case, it's the Carnage level. So you're going to be fighting Carnage in that area. In this sort of small story surrounding that level, S.H.I.E.L.D. has been tampering with the power of the tablet and Carnage, who they were holding prisoners. And obviously the experiment went wrong. And so when you get to Triskelion, you know, the place is infected, basically. So you're fighting infected S.H.I.E.L.D. agents and the Slayers, the robots that have been, you know, they're part of the base to actually fight any type of symbiotic threat. Will be fighting both the infected, but you as well, because you're wearing the black suit. So you get this, you know, this sort of three-way fight. You know, you get a lot of action because you're fighting like all these people at the same time.
And now, obviously, this is a very, very different style of fighting than we saw in Noir.
Yes.
He kind of doesn't care if people see him, is the thing I'm getting right now.
Yeah. So it's very different. It's definitely more arcade style. So Noir was all about stealth. Ultimate Spider-Man, it's all about the power of the black suit. So basically what you're looking at here, we really went crazy with the black suit as you're looking on screen. It was just not about wearing the suit, but it was all about having these extensions, like tendrils and tentacles coming out of your body, and to have like this very spectacular looking combat style, but also provide a lot of reach when you're fighting. And in Ultimate Spider-Man, it's all being swarmed by the enemies that are around you. So because what we put together is what we call the rage mode. You might, you actually see it on screen at a moment. It's basically the more you hit enemies and the more you're being hit, the more the meter fills up. When it's completely full, you can unleash the power of the black suit. There you go. So when it's activated, you get into rage mode, and basically you can unleash devastating attacks that can wipe out the entire the enemies that are filling the screen. But the more you hit enemies in that mode, the more you maintain your rage. So the amount of enemies surrounding you is really tied into the use of the rage mode.
Very cool. Now, to be clear, the spider sense also works here, but it's a little bit different as well because there's a red arrow, I believe, and that's directing you to where you got to go.
Exactly. So what the spider sense, basically all Spider-Men have a spider sense, and the spider sense serves as a way of finding out where the boss you're after is right now. So you might see on the screen like there's a little icon of Carnage. So if you wanted to follow Carnage, you would activate your spider sense and you could see where he was going. Also, it serves as an indication of the enemy's health. So the more, the stronger the glow, the more health they have. And so the more you fight them, basically the aura will reduce almost to the point where, it's gone. So you'll know which enemy you can attack first if you want to get rid of them one by one.
Now, what we've been seeing kind of peppered throughout the levels have been these spinning spider icons.
Yes.
So, and they're one of two collectibles, because, I had a chance to play it already, so, talk to us about the collectible system in the game, because kind of a big fan of those icons, because they're pretty useful.
Yeah, it is. So basically, I was talking about Spider Essence earlier. There are multiple ways of collecting Spider Essence. You can be fighting enemies, you can be completing challenges, or you can be collecting these emblems. So what we call spider emblems, when you find them, they will reward you with health and additional spider essence as well. So they're strategically located across a little bit everywhere in the environment, and basically it's for the player to explore. We reward the players in the end because we basically rate the performance of the level, and we reward the player who've collected enough of those. So the spider emblems, the enemies, the challenges, all combine to collect spider essence to unlock more powerful moves.
Now, just as we're getting closer to Carnage, probably going to have a fight soon, I feel.
Yeah, I think actually we should switch to Carnage.
But I wanted to talk a little bit about the game's art style, because Noir had a specific look to it. We've seen 2089, we've seen Amazing, and now this has its own unique art style.
Yes.
Which, do you want to talk to us kind of about the look of the game, because it's not exactly like the original Ultimate Spider-Man game,
No.
but it's in the same vein.
Yes, exactly. So we really wanted to pay tribute to the contemporary comic book. So, you know, we've talked about Amazing before, and it was all about pen and ink treatment, the vintage comic book style. But this time around, it's all about like the, you know, the rendered comics. It's all cell shaded, very saturated, you know, very fresh, young, dynamic. It reflects the personality of the character. And so, yes, basically, we really like what, you know, people like what Ultimate Alliance, not Ultimate Alliance, I'm sorry, talking about Ultimate Spider-Man. When Ultimate Spider-Man came out, people really liked the art style, so we just wanted to push it further into like the next-gen consoles.
Right.
So what we're looking at here is, you might see some new enemies. These are basically what we call Carnage spawns. Because of the power of the tablet in the game, the power of the tablet allows the villains who are actually holding a piece of it will unleash additional powers that we haven't seen before. So in this case, the power of the tablet allowed Carnage to sort of multiply himself. So you have lesser versions of Carnage you need to fight throughout, you know, this particular level. And now we're going to get to actually meet Carnage. And in brand new first-person fighting style. So that was something really important for us, was to actually, and we've talked about that in the past, was to actually have a chance to play the character, to fight some of the villains in first person.
Yep.
Because that was like, you know, we have a very robust facial animation system.
Yeah.
And what we wanted to do was to get players who actually love but hate the villains at the same time to be punching them in the face, you know, really to just have it. And it's not quick time event, it's all interactive, so I use the left and right stick to punch them.
It's pretty classic, punching in the face.
Yes, there you go. But it's because, you know, to actually see them from up close, because most of the time when you're fighting these guys, they're about the same size as you, right?
Yep.
And so to actually see them from up close and have them go like, I hate you, Spider-Man, and just like punch them in the face, right, you know, right in the middle of it, it's kind of fun. And to actually be fighting Carnage and punching Carnage in the face was just like so obvious.
It is what people at home want, probably.
So one thing we can talk about is all of the, you know, we're talking about 13 villains.
Yep.
So there's a lot of villains out there. So we've actually revealed Carnage for Ultimate. There's also Deadpool, you know, which is one of the characters I think people will really like. We have Scorpion for $20.99 that we talked about. We have Juggernaut for Amazing Spider-Man.
Right.
Vulture for Noir that we revealed. So we're talking about 13 villains total, and I think people will really enjoy all they're going to be seeing in this game.
All right. Well, thanks very much for coming by, Thomas. Really
Pleasure.
appreciate it.